What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at my brand new WWE Ultimate Edition Joe Hendry. So let's go ahead and get right on into it.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Alright, so you guys loved the promo version of him that was in my latest custom showcase. So today I figured I'd show you a ring attire version of Joe Hendry. Now, first of all, this head comes from Hendry. He is the link in my description. Use my code, you get 10% off, and it helps with shipping from overseas. If you need a painter, let me know. I can get you in touch with some good painters. As far as the body itself, the paintwork was done by Alpha Action Figs. If you're new here, if you go look at all my custom showcase videos, he has done about 95% of the work that has been in that section of my channel, on my Instagram, on my channel in general. The dude does majority of my work because he does a great job. The decals, they come from Curb Stomp City Decals. Everybody uses him in the business, and he's just the go-to for anything decal related, for ring attire and everything, from the most simple attires like this one here to the more complex things like Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega and stuff like that. But that's not what we're talking about now. That is the bulk of where you get the parts. Let's get into the figure itself. This head scan, we talked about it in the heads video that I did that showed off the promo attire. This bad boy right here, we'll go ahead and just put him in the background. I took the head off of it. I have another head that's being painted right now, so I have one for each. And that is from Hendry. Absolutely insane. I'm thinking about doing one with the brown hair to match the beard, considering that is what he did majority of the time on the indies. The blonde is just in the last couple years or so. For the upper body, this was actually a really easy decision. I used the Walmart exclusive Ultimate Edition Roddy Piper from the Monday Night Wars line. I thought that was a no-brainer, and it would just be a nice generic torso to use. And the lowers, the crotch piece, was actually blue. So I said, you know what, that's exactly what we need. But on that figure, the wrist tape was originally white, so we had to go ahead and paint that blue just to make sure that it did match the rest of the attire. Alpha Action decided to add some chest hair here. And he actually did a really good job. I was impressed with that, because sometimes chest hair looks really good, sometimes it looks really bad. This one actually impressed the heck out of me. Last year or 2 years ago, I had him do some bruising for the Cody Rhodes, and he knocked it out of the park there. I was even more impressed with the chest hair here. Dude is definitely improving day to day. For the lower part of the body, from the legs down, believe it or not, I used an Elite 100 Stunning Steve Austin. I figured that would be fine because it gives you the shorts look. You could just go regular skin tone and paint it and do all that stuff, but I like to have a baseline for my painters of the exact stuff I want. If I want them to paint the legs, I'm going to give them a figure with the legs done. I'm not going to give them a skin tone figure, because that just feels like it's a waste of a skin tone figure. That makes sense. So that's where you get the shorts look from. I was talking with Hendry earlier. Another way you could do the lower body, actually a way you could do the entire figure, would be the most recent Legends Mr. Perfect and the yellow attire. You could do that guy head to toe, pop the top of the singlet off since it has the rubber, and you have the molded shorts, followed by just the muscly torso for the elites, and then you have the white boots and everything you need there. As far as the knee pads, I didn't have ones that I want, but that is something that can always really be changed. These are the ones from Mr. T, because I just had them laying around. They're not accurate by any means, not to my knowledge at least, but it is what I had, and he painted them blue and got the red off the front for the white. I think he added a coat of white on there too. I used every part of that figure except for the knee pads, and then I finally found a use for the knee pads, and I went with it because it got the job done. Since this is on butterfly joints, you do have the insane mobility that you have come to expect from Ultimate Editions, and it's not that much of an eyesore. It used to be on some of their figures. It's a little bit in the back, but who's really looking at the back of a figure? I mean, but you see that's where you get that deep range of articulation for posing, for playing, whatever it is you want to do. That is just one of those necessary evils, but they make it look as good as they can from the front. I'll give Mattel credit for that all day long. Like I said, as far as a comparison, this is the promo attire. And, you know, I thought one was going to be taller than the other, but they do come out to about the same height once the second head will be put on. Maybe the small, like maybe a quarter of an inch taller for the promo attire. And these are actually two different skin tones. I just noticed that too. This is more of the Seth Rollins skin tone. This is more of the Daniel Bryan skin tone that we know. As far as comparisons, I don't really have many TNA figures, but I figured let's, you know, find what we can. We have, let's see, All Ego Ethan Page from NXT right now. That's a pretty good size comparison. And if you think the head is too big on Joe, I think the head's too small on Ethan Page. And I think that's a really good comparison. And Ethan is the NXT champ, so there's no telling. Joe might be challenging for the NXT title sometime soon. Who knows? Another comparison just from a current NXT guy is Tony D'Angelo. I think this Tony D'Angelo figure is actually too small, personally. I think they could have used a different torso for him. And the legs maybe a little taller, even though they are a unique mold. But it's livable. You can deal with it. If you put them far enough away, you don't notice it as much. But you put them like that, you notice it entirely. Another comparison is another Scottish superstar. This is a custom Noam Dar, which I have not shown off on the channel at all. Noam is quite shorter than Joe Hendry, so this does work for me. And I figured since I'm doing Scottish wrestlers, might as well show off Noam. Let's see what else we got here as far as comparisons we can do. We have Danhausen from the AEW line. Let's see how he stacks up. Two people that have just always killed it on the indies. And I think that is correct. I think Joe Hendry is 6'2" last I checked. So he would have the height on Danhausen, and that would make that accurate, which is pretty insane because I threw this formula together not really worrying about height accuracy. It just kind of happened, which was pretty cool. But that is the Monday Night Wars Ultimate Rowdy Roddy Piper, and it is the lower legs of Stunning Steve Austin. Let's compare him to probably the greatest manager in wrestling, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman seems like the type of guy to be high on Joe Hendry. I think that's a nice comparison. I'm not going to get people excited saying he's a Paul Heyman guy or nothing like that. I think that's very solid there. And just since the deal with NXT is going so well for TNA, let's go ahead and compare him to the original father of NXT, Triple H. I like that comparison. I do like that a lot. I love that Triple H figure. That is the Mail-Away Toys R Us exclusive with a head swap to make it look a little bit better because I didn't want the ponytail look. And then you can just take a random guitar from one of your Honky Tonk Man figures and place it in his hand. If I can get that to go in there. I always have trouble getting accessories in the hands on video. But you can do this in preparation for next week's concert on NXT, where the NXT people get to see how talented Joe Hendry actually is. He's got the guitar, and it looks cool. It's gonna look really cool on the on next week's TV, which is insane. But I'm posting this in the middle of San Diego Comic-Con, so definitely stay tuned for the reveals coming up. But that is gonna be it for today's video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and last but not least, take it easy.